Hi, this is Rick from Dynamic Sketching. Good to have you back with me again. On this drawing, we're going to do something a little bit different. Have a little bit of fun here. I'm going to do a sketch of Darth Vader, who is like one of the greatest villains of all time. Designed by the amazing Ralph McQuarrie, who created him for Star Wars, and the Stormtroopers and Boba Fett and all of the other amazing characters in Star Wars. Now, there is a link from Darth Vader to the previous videos that we've done, because we've been working on the skull, been working on the skeleton. Well, Darth's face is a skull death mask, and so it's a nice little link from our skulls to here. So I'm going to get straight in. I'm using a nice thick mechanical pencil here with a big thick lead in it. I think they're so good for just roughing out. I'm just going to get started actually. They're so good for roughing out, and nice bold lines, stops you getting too precious, you know, with kind of thinner pencil leads. I'm going to do nice quick bold drawing here because I'm aware of time on this video. Yes, myself and my son decided it would be nice to do some fun character sketches. What I will do is really quickly, I'll just say Darth's body is kind of away from us. It's kind of 3/4. So looking at the sort of pin man drawings, there's our spine there, you know. He's away from us, but his face is looking towards us in a kind of threatening manner. We've got an upside down egg there, but of course the fan shape of Darth's helmet is there. So we're still using that's the basic shape there. And he's got his hand towards us in foreshortening, just roughing out the shape there. He's obviously doing his death hand gesture with a force. So he's displeased with me. I'm the viewer, he's displeased with me. I must have sent him to Alderaan or something instead of Hoth to get the rebels. So I'm just getting straight into it now. This helmet, which is brilliantly designed, I think is a kind of amalgamation of Samurai Warriors, Doctor Doom, you know, the amazing character designed by the great Jack Kirby at Marvel, and of course the skull. So where we see the skull here, you've got the nasal area of the skull, because Darth doesn't really have a nose, he's got the nasal area there, and then you've got the eye sockets here, that deep cavity of the eye socket, you know, the face of death, you know, classic face of death here. And we're going to use tone and just block in some nice dark shadows and contrast. Be really quick with this nice dynamic drawing. You've got that almost like grill on his mouth. It's so effective because it looks very aggressive, the sort of grill, the vent that he's breathing through, and then these little screws or whatever they are here, the end of the vent. Yeah, so his head's looking towards us. The front of his body, the front panel with all the computerized stuff on it, is 3/4 away from us. So, you know, it's like here, the center line's here, center line of his face is there, the egg shape of the head is there, like what we've discussed before in the previous videos. So yes, I think his helmet is definitely based off Samurai Warriors. He's got his cape. We've got a bit of Batman in there with the cape. It's classic shapes there. Brilliant silhouetted shape. You know, you can just silhouette Darth and he looks fantastic as well. Just such a brilliant design. Like I say, if you want to know more about Ralph McQuarrie, you can look him up. There's some lovely books out there. Seen his amazing concept work, which was done, I believe, in gouache, I think, or acrylic, but it's just brilliant stuff. So here we have, like I said, I did the hand there. It's in the foreground in foreshortening. His death grip, for the force. We can go more into foreshortening. Obviously his hand's big and bold in the foreground here, because it's closer to us, closer to the camera. I am using obviously some reference here. It's a classic pose that I've got. His cape's sort of hanging like this. You don't see much of the elbow, just going off into darkness, which this is what I'll start to do. And then you've got this kind of slatted effect at the top, which is also a really good design. I don't know whether that's designed off samurais as well, but it's such a good design. On there. And there's loads of ref of Darth online, which you can use for reference. With him holding his lightsaber. He's not going to be holding his lightsaber in this one. It's just the death grip. Once I've got the general forms knocked in here. Okay, that's about there, yeah. In my head, I'm always using little mapping points like what we discussed before. You know, the shoulders here, shoulders there. You can't see it, it's underneath his cape, but this is what, when you get more into drawing and you get more into figure drawing and you're doing more of it, you can almost see, you've got this third eye where you can kind of see these shapes appearing. Even though they're not obvious on the surface, you can see them. This is his electronics in his chest. I'm not going to get into too much detail there. The reference I've got, it's not in full detail because he's so dark and in shadow, which I'll get into in a moment. That things are just blending into shadow. I think he's got his arm, must be on his waist, yeah. And of course, his glove is leather, so glove shape there, fingers. Right, so I'm going to go straight. Let's get rid of this little drawing here. I know it's useful for the pin man, but we're going to start getting tonal shapes down, and we don't want that to be too distracting. Right, okay, so let's start with his head. Just going to go straight into nice bold shadow shapes. And like I say, you know, charcoal's great for this, just putting big areas of tone down, or like a black magic marker, paintbrush. You can do all this stuff. So I'm almost treating it, this shaded areas, in a vertical way. You know, imagine the lights coming down here, hitting here. So get the dark cavity of the eye socket of his mask, the death mask. Just go straight in, nice and dark. And his helmet, the top of it, this area sort of follows the furrows of the eye socket, which is a great design, it really is. Okay, now that. Let's just make that socket area, oops, a little bit bolder. Yeah, I'm not getting into masses of detail again because of time, and I think sometimes it's just nice just to get straight into nice bold dark shapes. Now what I like to do, I like using smudging and tone. There's a reason I'm going to be doing this, which should be evident as I go along. Obviously his helmet is black. Oops. It makes such an amazing silhouetted shape. furrowed shapes. Yeah, I'm just kind of abstracting out all of these shapes. Shadow off this area here onto this vent, which again, like I say, is just such a great design. It looks really evil, but it's obviously the practical sense of Darth being able to breathe through this mask. I really enjoyed the recent Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney. I thought it was excellent, and there's a brilliant fight with Darth and Obi-Wan at the end where, anyway, I won't give it away, I don't want to spoil it, but it's fantastic. I think it's the last episode in the series. Okay, so I'm just going for dark, deep contrast here. Like I say, there's a reason why I've grayed this area up. We're going to look into that later. Right, let's carry on putting tonal shapes down. I'm aware time-wise that I just need to get these shapes down. You can be nice and bold. Sometimes time constraints, and I've learned this with my work that I do for my job, are really good just to be bold with your drawing, you know, just get it down, no preciousness, just get that feeling down. Shadow off his cape. I really like smudging. I may end up with really dirty fingers. But I kind of think as a painter, when I'm actually even working with black and white pencil and shade, I think of big abstract shapes, dynamics. That's what I'm after when I'm doing things. Some use indication of folds off the shoulder. When you're drawing this, it's really good to think about the shapes as a silhouette. You know, Darth's silhouette is just so distinctive, and everybody knows it. Oh, getting a little bit too smudgy there. But I will be putting a little bit of tone in there. And tell you what, we'll just get a piece of paper here. I'm left-handed, so I can smudge if I'm not careful quite a bit. But I want to get a nice raw feel on this. So his hand, his gloved hand, is leather, so there's some nice creases being created here in this foreshortened hand. Putting the tonal areas in with his gloved hand. You see the arm there. As he's putting his hand towards us as the viewer, striking terror into us because he's using his the Force, the dark side. He's obviously displeased with me. Going to kill me off, finish me off with his hand of death, choking the culprit. So again, I'm just going to put a lot of tone on here. The controls, I'm going to bring them out. What I do is I use a white pen. It's a correction pen, but I think it's fantastic for just bringing out highlighted areas. Highlighted areas here. And the shadows off his cape. Okay. Starting to build up just for atmosphere, almost like there's a smoke or fog around Darth here. Right. Locking the shape, got the arm here, which we don't see a lot of, but we get a sense of folds in there. I'm just going to fade them off. It's just the torso of Darth here, so we're just going to fade them off here. And like I say, I'm going to bring in his controls. Bring in his control panel with the paint pen, which I think is an amazing tool. Okay, more work into the gloved arm here. Okay, let's get a nice bold line around his cloak. Oops. This is quite a raw drawing. Just going for pure boldness here. Those digits of the hand. Okay, right. Okay, just building up the tone. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do with reflections. See Darth's on the Death Star, whatever, and you're getting these bold lights on his helmet. Bold lights on his helmet, and then just make the skull sockets even more bold to bring them out. Now, where are we with the drawing? Okay, right. Just fading them off here. Fading them off here. Okay, reflections here. Reflections here on the helmet. And then I'm going to show why use the white correction pen. It's amazing for highlights. It just gives you these fantastic highlights when you've got something dark and moody and there's reflective areas and things. Right, so we're getting a nice bold iconic shape of Darth here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start bringing in, sorry, just a little bit more tone here. More shadow off this slatted area that Darth has. Okay, now let's use the white pen. Well, actually, I tell you what, just because his hand is in the foreground, just make that a little bit more bolder, coming towards us, his death grip. Like I say, just big and bold, this drawing. Okay, let me just get rid of some of the sketch lines that we had before. We'll just focus on Darth. Right, okay, this is the fun bit. Now we're going to get some highlights. Imagine in the Death Star and you've got those strong areas of light catching his helmet. Nasal area there, little dots there. Oops. On top of the helmet here. Get that gloss of the helmet. This vent that he breathes out of. Bring some of that out. And these little screws on the corner as well. Oops. That a bit more. Yeah, they're so good, these Pentel correction pens. They're excellent. I recommend them. Just for getting little effects and things. Yeah, we've got the light catching this slatted area here. My son is reminding me that time is the essence here. I've so enjoyed doing this for you. We've noticed that there's a few people have viewed our videos, but there's not as many likes perhaps, and we'd really appreciate more likes if possible. It helps the video to be seen more, getting more views. And if you can subscribe as well, that'd be fantastic. Really appreciate it. I know that not everybody's got the time to watch these videos. There's so many things to watch on YouTube and online, but you can always fast forward to the end if you want to see the end result. I'm just really knocking in his electronics quickly here. Just getting some quick effects. Let's have a look. Yep. Got that there. See, where are we? Almost at the end here. There's my, like I say, very quick, bold drawing of Darth Vader. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've really been enjoying it as well. Let me see. And please like, subscribe, put a comment if you can, if you've got time. Really appreciate that as well. And there we go, Darth Vader in all his glory. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.